All right, everyone. So by now you should have a drawing of your phone. You should have your front piece. You should have your back piece. And those three pieces should be assembled into your final assembly. What we are going to do in this video is we are going to make a dimension drawing so that we would be able to lay out, so draw on the plywood and then cut on the bandsaw our product and then also assemble it. So the first thing we're going to do is if we insert a new tab and try to create a drawing, there are many different templates. If we go to Onshape, you'll notice ANSI A and inch. If you click OK, it'll pull up the title block page, which will be a sheet of paper that is 8.5 by 11 inches. And then you'll notice that there's a big title block here with lots of dimensions and lots of information. We don't need this much information for this title block. So we're actually just going to delete this, and we aren't going to use the one that Onshape gave. What we're going to do is we're going to use the one that's posted online. So I'm going to click the import button, and then I'm going to go to my downloads, and then I'm going to go to example template.dwt. That will then pull up a specific template that's very simple. It has, that dimensions are in inches, the fractional tolerance, break all sharp edges. It'll automatically give you the date and the author who created it, and then you insert the material and the title. So when you import a DWG, there's a tool that allows you to kind of edit it, but instead of editing it, because the template's in a good state, I'm going to insert new tab. I'm going to create a drawing, and then I'm going to go to created by me, and I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom, and it should have this temple example.dwt. You can totally edit the title block yourself and make your own. That's kind of the content for a different video. That's how you would exceed expectations. So here, if I go to Part Studios, if you go to Part Studios, it gives you a render of the parts. You can also go to Assemblies, which show you the assembly. And so I'm just going to do a quick orthographic of the full assembly. So when we have our parts, we know how to assemble it. So here we do our front view, we pull up and we do our top view, we pull up to the side and we have our side view, and then we pull diagonally to get our three-dimensional view. Great. So here I'm going to rename this drawing. It's always a good habit to rename. I'm going to call this full assembly with phone. And then I'm going to just title this full assembly. If I was to do this professionally, I would include a bill of materials. Here it's phone plus, in this example, when I did this in a previous class, we used 1/2-inch plywood because that's what we had available. Now we have 1/4-inch plywood. So, so here I'm just going to just do it out of, let's just say 1/4-inch plywood. I would use the tools here, and I would add a bill of materials that outlined what each part was and how to assemble it. We don't really need that. This is a very simple product. You should be able to assemble it on your own. So let's make a technical drawing for the back piece because it's a very simple block. I would make two drawings for the back piece. The first drawing that I would make is an orthographic drawing. So again, I'm going to use that template example. And I'm going to have my standard views that we learned. So I'm going to include the front, the top, and the side. But as we can see here, the scale is way too large. I can't fit this all on my paper. It looks super messy. I'm just going to delete, delete, delete. I'm going to insert. Instead of 1-to-1, I'm going to go 1-to-2. And I'm going to insert again that back piece. So we have the front, we have the top, and we have the side view. And then I can use the principles that we learned on how to dimension. So I would label, this is 7 inches long, 3 inches wide. This channel is 1.5 inches deep with a hole that is 1/2 inch wide. And then the last thing is adding the thickness of the material. So here we go. We have our dimensioned material. We change the material to 1/2 inch plywood. We always use all caps, and I would call this back. Give me 1 second, sorry. Typing here is tough. Back ortho graphic. Perfect. And then I'm going to rename this. I'm going to right click, rename. So I'm going to call this back ortho. But we're not done here, because you'll notice the dimensions here are in decimals, and that would mean we would have to use a vernier or a caliper. We only have rulers in this class. So we're going to go to drawing properties, and instead of changing the tolerance, right, to be decimal places, I'm going to change it to inches fractional, and then I'm going to change the precision to 1/16 of an inch, because that is essentially the, and I'm going to change the tolerance also to 1/16 of an inch, because that is the resolution on the rulers that we have. And so you'll notice all of the dimensions have changed. 7 inches, 3 inches, 1.5, half. We're going to learn to use fractions in this class to be able to build it. The last thing that I would do is, because I have a nice sheet of paper that's big enough for my phone holder, I'm going to create a drawing where in addition to the orthographic, you can always make extra drawings to make your building process easier. And so in this example, I'm going to actually do a top view where the scale is 1:1. And if I do this top view where the scale is 1:1, I can basically print this out, cut it, and verify that it is, oh, 1 second, the audio might have cut out. I might have been able to, print this, cut this out, and trace the drawing and verify that I actually laid it out correctly. So that's like another thing that I would do. And then I would say, I would call this 1:1 scale of the back. So 1:1 scale of the back. And again, I would change this to 1/2 inch plywood. And then I could add some of these dimensions. So essentially add this, that it's 7 inches. It's going to be hard to put in the other dimensions, but I could try to put them in on the side just to help. It doesn't, you never want to have too many dimensions that your drawing gets messy, but it is helpful to have, every dimension, try to line them up and try to make them nice. So again, I would change this to inches fractional, make sure everything is visible, it's easy to read, and well done, and then I can print it. And so to print, essentially all you have to do is go over here and print, and then I would physically print all of these papers and have them in front of me so that you can show them to me, I can inspect them, and if they, meet standards and actually make a lot of sense for you to build, we can go ahead, I'll give you the wood and you can lay it out. So bon courage, I hope that everyone's able to do this. Good luck.